Right then, welcome back. Today we're going to do the Laguna Seca Master event. Not my favourite track in the world. It's certainly not a Macau, but it's not a UMC or a Magny Cause either. So first event, a track day. We're going to use the MV Brutale 800, and we muck about with a setup from whatever it was the last time I used this bike, which was a long time ago. We go for a pair of mediums, and I approached this with the wrong attitude. I thought it was going to be an absolute walk in the park, and it wasn't. I was way too cocky, way too complacent, and just kept making loads of mistakes. If I wasn't running over the curbs on the inside, I was playing Skittles and just absolutely smashing into the back of people. Again, 15 seconds left. I've got 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 that I needed. A little bit of a clip, and we're off. And we ran out of time. It didn't get done. So we go again. I don't make any changes, but I apply my full attention to it this time. It's done. That last one was a bit scruffy, but beggars can't be choosers, so I'll take it. A gold is a gold, as they say. So onwards, event number 2, single race, 5-lapper, 600cc sports bikes, and again, I'm in an R and looking for something that I'd not used, and the 2020 R6, not used it very much, so thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. Again, stuck a generic-ish setup in it, bit of front support, a bit sensible on the compression and rebound, medium set tyres on 120%, and yeah, a bit strange this. Didn't really get on too well with that R6 initially. Took a bit of time to adjust to it. The AI were as accommodating as always, as in absolutely not at all. No quarter was asked or given, so they were stuffing it up the inside, and there was the usual shenanigans going on. But yeah, just didn't get on with the bike. Not a criticism of the bike, more a criticism of me. I've been riding all sorts of different stuff, but this just took a bit of getting used to, and struggling to stop it. The setup wasn't right, the tyres were cold, it was a bit all over the place, and I ended up running over the inside curb, and by the time I got back on, they were 4 or 5 seconds down the road. I just thought, nah. So made a quick change to the setup, changed the tyres, went to a soft rear, and we gave it another go, and this one went much better. It's done. Setup still wasn't great. It was better than it was the first time. But that bike, my God, does it rev? Just revs and revs and revs. 16,000 RPM, apparently, according to the rev counter on the game, the dashboard. Number 3, Time Attack, 1000cc sports bikes. By this point, I'm getting a bit sick of the track, to be honest. It just, like I say, it's not really my favourite. Thought I'd spice it up. Looked at the Superleggera, but that's from a pack that has been released that I haven't done the races for yet, so I was saving it. So I went with the next best thing and went with a Panigale V4. Now, after the Brutale and after the R6, this thing was an absolute missile. It was ridiculously fast. It was building so much speed between the corners that I just couldn't get the thing stopped. It was a bit too much performance. Missing braking points, running wide, getting spat off. I mean, that's 2 attempts and I just made an absolute mess of it, so I needed to manage my ambition and expectations for this one and just try and go a little bit steadier. 127, it's not a bad lap. I mean, the endurance bikes are doing 121, 122, so it's not impossible, but it's certainly not the easiest target in the world. is done. 122, which is on a par with the race and endurance bikes for pace. So the road bikes are just as fast, which is always nice to know. Some mirrors and a number plate on it. It's done. So number 4, another race, another 5 lapper. Bit of a twist on this one. It's race modified 1000cc plus bikes, so naked or sports bikes, which I think is much better than just saying use this or use that. I think this gives you much more options. There's a much wider spread of bikes. I almost plumped for the Monster, but then I saw this, the MT10. Now, I'm a big fan of MT10s. I like the crossplane crank V4, the engine, very nice. The MT10 is very comfortable, it's very fast, unnecessarily fast, and it really likes to wheelie. The race modified version is pretty much a carbon copy, just in a digital sense. Problem is, I can't overtake people without smashing into the back of them. So attempt 1, we do that, and we cause all sorts of carnage. Again, I'm playing with the setups as I go. The front tyre wasn't quite right. It didn't seem to be giving me the support I needed in the braking zone, so I went to a hard, and yeah, this one was a bit of graft. I didn't expect to breeze to the front because there were sports bikes in it as well as the naked stuff, but the AI were quick. They were very quick. it's done. Mega bike, really, really nice bit of kit. But those two Americans were fast. They were properly quick, and I didn't think I was going to catch the one who was out front for a while. That took a fair bit of graft, and I find it hard not to make mistakes on there when I'm pushing, and I was pushing as hard as I could. So 4 down, last event, endurance race. Yeah, and this is. I had a bit of a break. Doing the same track over and over and over when there's no different variations of track was getting a bit nauseous. So I had a bit of a break. I went away, went with a GSXR. Had a bit of a fiddle with a setup. Experimenting with a preload at the minute, different lean angles for different tracks and different bikes, just seeing if it makes it any easier or more difficult. And the first attempt, it just didn't go well. I was struggling with a combination of quick AI and me being a little hot-headed. The start, normal crap start from the AI. I get brave, try and go up the inside, doesn't really work. Bit of bashing and barging going on. The AI riders were organised. They stayed quite close. They were running fast lines. They weren't really given a massive amount of room. Went up the inside, little bit of a touch, off I get. So we're now 6 seconds behind the lead. Still on lap 1, get on the curbs and get a bit of a shimmy shake on, and off I get. 6 laps later, same corner, and you know what's coming, run wide, get on the curb, and off I get again. So yeah, there was a lesson to be learned there. 20 laps later, we're only up to 10th, and trying to avoid running wide, I run in a bit tight, and I think, nah, that's it, I'm done. The gap's too big, they're too fast, I'm not going to catch them up. So, a little bit of a tweak, and we go again. And, well, as seems to be with most of the endurance races that I do, I can stay with them. I'm happy that I've got the pace to get to the front, but I get nervous around the other riders. I don't necessarily trust them. They do weird things. If you run wide and deep into a corner, they'll follow you. They're basically just blocking you. If you run up the inside, they just turn across you. So there's a few little bits and bobs and tweaks to the AI that frustrate me more than anything. So I just decided to be nasty, and if I was going to stick it up the inside, I was going to try and stick it up the inside and just try and lever the AI rider out of the way. The problem with that on this attempt was there was a bit of a glitch where my bike was ghosted, but it wasn't ghosted. I haven't turned the collisions off, it's on 120%, all the settings are as per the realistic settings, but yeah, you'll see in a minute that just weird things were happening, like weird, and it kind of scrambled my brain a little bit when it happened. I'm like, what? And then I ended up making a couple of mistakes, but you'll see them. So end of lap 1, we're in a much healthier position than we were on the first attempt. We are in 8th. A couple of laps later, we go up to 7th, and this is where things start getting weird. Straight through him. And I guess it has happened before, but I've never really paid any attention to it. I never realised what has happened before. And it only happens on this track. It doesn't happen anywhere else. Lap 4, right round the outside, very ambitious, out of control. Thought I was going to bin it. Front tyre, did not enjoy that at all. 6th, again, first corner seemed to be my place. It seemed to be where I could either run up the inside, run up the outside, much better on the brakes, or coming out of the corner, getting on the gas. This is a bit cheeky, bit of a stuff up the inside, bit of a block pass. Was worried I was going to run onto the curb. I thought I was going to bin it again, as I had done a couple of times. So there again, bit of a issue with like the ghosting thing, very strange. But the AI rider moves out of the way as if there's going to be a collision. So yeah, and again straight through him. Start a lap 8, 10 minutes in. Just strange, very weird. I was like concentrating so much, I wasn't really sort of seeing what was going on. It's only when I've watched the footage back and I've been doing like kind of editing it for the video and doing the voiceover that I've realised what was going off. But yeah, very strange. When I go into the pits later on and come back out, everything's back to normal. The collision system works fine. So end of lap 9, 13 minutes in, we're at the front and nothing much happens. We don't build a massive gap. 4 seconds halfway through the race, 15 laps, fuel tank's empty, tyres are stone cold, the setup's not working for the tyres. We go medium soft, just to try and get a bit of heat in that back tyre. The back tyre being warm will push the front and that'll generate heat in the front, so it feeds itself. 100% fuel load. We're going to use full power mode. And the pit lane is horrendous. It takes forever and ever and ever. We're doing 70 mile an hour. For some reason, we're slowing down half a mile before the corner. We come around here, and instead of getting the gas, we slow down. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and then the autopilot clicks off, and we are released. We have, I don't know, we certainly don't have that much of a gap because someone followed me out of the pits. So, yeah, we were 30 odd seconds behind. I had a 5-second gap, lap 20, 10 minutes left, and that kind of knocked my concentration. I run on at the corkscrew, and 2 Brazilian riders go past. 0.3 of a second penalty, and I didn't panic, that's the wrong word, but I was now concerned that rather than just taking my time and managing the gap, I've now got to push on cold-ish tyres to try and get back to the front. And yeah, these boys and girls, or girls and boys, they were quite quick. There was some grafting getting past these. So up to second and into this corner, there we go, collision system's working again. So one of them just weird. Can't understand it. It must just be a glitch. It must be an absolute glitch in the game, and it only seems to happen on this track. But well, it is what it is. And not a lot changed. I never got away. I've got a half a second gap with a 0.3 of a second penalty. I was not convinced, but I was suspecting that 0.3 of a second penalty was going to come back and haunt me. Not very good through the corkscrew and through those 2 corners. Hoping I could use my extra pace into this last corner and get on the gas and pull a bit of a gap out. Turns out he's going to go in the pits. So all the panicking, all the pushing and all the worrying about the gap was for nothing, because we ended up winning it by a fairly comfortable margin. But as endurance races go, that wasn't the easiest. And the next 8-hour race, which when I get to 100 subscribers I'll do, because I have no appetite to do it, but that's what I'll do. I'll do the next one at 100 and I'll see how I feel after that, and we'll go from there. But I'll sort something out for that. But it's done, 5 golds. Not the greatest event I've ever done. If you like Laguna Seca, you'll enjoy it. If you don't, then you won't. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment, a like, or subscribe, whatever takes your fancy. And fingers crossed, I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Peace.